you. Hey dumbass, time to wake up. It's art time. It's time to go. Time to rock and roll. Same color palette as before. Nice turquoise blue. Blue iridescence. Combine the two. This is our tool for today. We're just going to mix up something basic. If we have more than we desire, it's okay. I'm not sure why the music's doing that. We do something like this. Hopefully that'll fix things a little bit. Some extra. Very weird how my speaker's doing this. Please be quiet. Might have to work out some of the static as this goes on, but it's all good for now. To this. Just going for a shade up compared to what we had before. Coat. gonna go here, maybe here today. I'm gonna start with the bigger, get things moving. This stream will be much faster. Just because this part is always faster in general. I might even have a bunch of this left over, but that's all good too. Super quick with this because I think the more I think about it, the more things don't quite go as I want. But we're just trying to get very sporadic light blues in here. Working from the top down again too, just so I have the chair to sit in for the last part. It might be hard to see, but that is the exact purpose of this coat. Go in the centers of all these bits, but still have some of that nice border left. There might even be a third coat to this, to be completely real, because some of this blue might be less significant in certain areas. Kind of laying this on thick too, compared to the other. Yeah, to be honest, I might even give this a pure iridescent layer in some of these parts. But either way, today we'll finish this all up. Because then I can get the pictures taken and post out again. School's been kind of kicking my ass, so take a day like this just to have some more lighthearted creations. It's just pure white, I don't like that. I do not like that. There we go. any of the background noise is weird too, definitely let me know. Try my best to fix anything significant. This is something to keep in mind too. Even if there's people here or not, I'm not doing this for views. I'm doing this to achieve really anything except just put a nice environment out there if I'm already taking the time to do everything that I do in my room anyway. So genuinely don't feel bad if you're not here, or if there's not a lot of views on something. It truly is not a priority in this world where I just want to have like a nice little time, to be honest. However long I get to be here. Be here on the earth and stuff. I'm going to also focus more on keeping this centralized so that some of the painting has edges that don't have this coat on it at all. Somebody messaged me recently and they said they felt bad they weren't on my first live stream, and I sincerely give you my word that you don't have to feel bad. Because again, I'm not here to farm engagement or put pressure on literally anybody. This is all meant to just be a nice time where I can just kind of run through thoughts in my head. A situation where I'm just painting anyway out for everyone to enjoy. For those who will enjoy it. And again, you don't even have to enjoy it. I'm going to have so many different things that I'm making and posting, and it's totally normal if anybody is super not into something or prefer other things or literally anything else. Hopefully it's coming through on the screen as far as the significance of this extra coat, but it's kind of intentional to where I'm not blasting it with super bright blue because I want to keep things rather subtle but still enough to where the eye can pick up whatever it may. Again, this is a very thick coat this time around. I want to have parts that are extra concentrated, extra significant compared to the rest of the coating. Yeah, I'm thinking after this, I'm going to go back through with the toothpick, put straight up iridescent pearl on some of these locations. I think that would be even cooler. Give it a sort of a situation where it looks like gems are forming in the more tightly packed areas. And again, this paint dries very fast, so we can just really do whatever we want. Random and not thought out this is, the better it truly turns out. Because yeah, nature doesn't take a ton of time to second guess itself or anything like that. Nature just does what it needs to do and moves on. Does not care. Neither do I. left we have in this glass jar after I'm finished. I'll just quickly put on a canvas for you guys to see kind of my process for keeping waste at as low as I can. The first stream of this was super interesting. Definitely urge you guys to get on my YouTube and check that out if you want to see dark coat being put on. Super fun. And again, I say that super loosely because if people were not part of the stream, it would be just as much fun. We're not here to any sort of pressure that I sometimes see online, where people are complaining about following and engagement and all this stuff that really goes to show what their intentions are. I've been doing this for over 14 years, and a smaller community is every single time better than a huge one. Or I should even say more specifically, a huge one that has got built by pressuring people. There are definitely cool big communities out there, so I want to acknowledge those. And just like the other live stream, this one will be permanently put up to the YouTube as well. Definitely gonna have paint left over, so I'll show you guys what I do. Just to keep waste low, because we don't like waste around here, or at least the kind of waste that's avoidable. Seems to be pretty decent on the screen. It's not really much of a different value compared to the other blues, so it does make sense that some areas might not even show. This is a little shinier than the first coat, and that's also intentional. So we do want to start transitioning into the valuable simulated parts of this. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too far with this because it can really distract from overall thought process that I put work into the first layer around. But we will have a third coat for sure. For those curious too, Instagram seems to not have a limit for live stream. As it turns out, I was thinking the first stream we'd be cut off after an hour, but it exceeded 2 full hours, so it's good for us. It's all good for us. AC finally shut off, so hopefully that'll improve quality of the music a bit. First coat. Keeping things rather loose, but enough to where the first coat can still shine through. here. As you can see, we got a solid amount of paint left, so I'll show you what I do to kind of get another idea going. Just find a canvas over here. I probably want to use white ones. Yeah, this one's like one I spray painted or something. Yeah, that'd be cool enough. Actually, yeah, I think that's cool enough. Just one that I've spray painted over and over and put paint on and spray painted again. Just lean it like this. That way that's balanced on my leg, so I don't have, there we go. Huge brush just to get it all out of here. We're just going to do a basic whatever we're sort of feeling here. And it is still a little bit of mixed colors just with how we put white in there and didn't really fully mix some of it. Big globs on here is good enough. The other way. Got some extra up here. We can just color the whole top. For all I know, this could be just totally something I don't even end up using, but it might jumpstart an idea too, so. One of those things where we can use up our paint. Nothing too crazy, like I said, just to get it all on there first. Empty, so then just throw the cup in our water bucket. It's glass, so everything will just fall off of it after sitting there for a while. And instead of having a million white canvases, now I can have blue one. And again, super fast on this. I'm not trying to think anything or drive ourselves crazy. There we go. And I kind of stick it here. Another reason why I move quickly is because the paint's wet, so we can get more coverage on here. To finish it off, I do long down the entire thing. For those curious, I am wearing shorts that are meant to get paint on it, so don't worry about that at all. We're just trying to go crazy on this. This by the actual linen. I'm just doing the same solid strokes through the entire possible, I could say. You'll still get brush lines, but it's exactly how I prefer. Because then when the light hits it, you won't get texture on the parts of your painting that you don't want brush strokes to show up. Then go the other way. And again, this is like super paint filled, so it's all good to get paint on stuff. Do something like this. I apologize if you guys can't see the entire chunks like that I just got rid of. It's all good. Just want to ensure the brush strokes all go in the same direction. Just finish it up like this again. Bottom to top. Until the paint isn't super thick on each side. As long as you go one direction then the other at least once, it'll be good. And again, just one line like that. Line like this. Readjust. That's good enough for me. So yeah, just something like that. I've probably gone over this canvas a handful of times. But, I mean, hey, all that'll dry. And we can use it for whatever else we might need. What we're going to do is set this down here. Just off camera. Set it on some various disposable objects. And if I run over this way, considering how we're lucky enough to have acrylic. Got a little tub of water here. I'm just going to wipe off all the little slivers of paint we got on ourselves. Pro tip is not getting rid of any old shirts or rags that you have. They are old. Cut them up into strips like this, and literally you can save yourself a ton of work getting all this paint off. Yeah, good enough. And again, I'm wearing these clothes specifically for this, so if paint gets on it, who cares? I have a couple devoted paint outfits. Alright. Now we did that pretty much. Let's get our ourselves the small palette, which I believe is under here. Oh, no. It's not it. Oh, yes. Over here. So now we're going to toothpick in. We'll probably use the broad side of this. You can use each end. So you'll get bigger ones, smaller lines here. So we're going to use the bigger one just to get paint moving. Since now is the real focus of what we set out to do. It's putting the gems in those high concentrated mineral spots that sort of signal value. This paint palette's a mess, but right here is where we're at. You may or may not be able to see, but it's shiny blue. The pictures I'll post later show that, but we're really just sticking to the high concentrated spots where we have the most blue here, but we're also keeping it quick because the toothpick will bounce off the rock texture in a way that we want so that we keep both of those values visible, but yet add these naturally occurring gems exactly where they need to be. And again, if the paint's not dry, it does not matter, because really it'll just add texture if it makes it a little chunkier or roughs it up a bit. We're only going to go a little bit here. I'm still moving rather quickly, but we're not going to cover the entirety of what we just did. We're only going to go where it's most concentrated, and keeping it balanced too. And again, this will just naturally put down wherever the toothpick's going to hit. The toothpick has no give whatsoever. It's as rigid as you can get without using a palette knife. Starting with the big areas first. Trying my best to balance what we have here to some degree. Because we don't want it to be so significant in one area where the eye isn't going to naturally want to look at other stuff. But yet, keep it significant enough so that it makes sense as far as what's generating. Get some more of this on the palette. Ourselves up something nicer on the other parts. Remember, twist your toothpick as you move, it'll distribute more on the other parts that are not touching. Again, it's not like a brush at all. It will literally only put paint down where you decide, and exactly where it touches. There's no like leeway. gems in the big areas like we planned session 1 around. And I'm going to not do very many. Just want enough to where it's sort of like a glitter. Well, I mean, not like a glitter. That's probably a bad way to describe it. But just enough to where it balances out everywhere we've done. My eyes are kind of drifting to the lightest blue spots that it picks up on that we did in the coat we just finished. Getting there. Yeah, we want, like I said, the less gems we have, the more it implies scarcity, kind of like how diamonds aren't just found everywhere. And when they are found, they're vastly different sizes. This is most likely going to be a mixture of like a diamond dynamic and cobalt mixture here. Again, it only adds texture to do thick, so I'm really not thinking too hard about any of this. Yeah, what's in there? If it looks scarce, I'm kind of just throwing the toothpick on. And then I reevaluate and move again. Just like that. And never neglect your edges. Those will help contain the eye in a way that's balanced. So it does help. Like, my strategies might not apply to you if you have limited supplies at your disposal, like you really don't want to waste potential. So keep that in mind, because what I do is not 100% perfect or figured out. I kind of just go off of the situation that I've got. Definitely a little reckless sometimes with paint testing and mixing paints around and just all like that good stuff. And I think as we get closer to finishing this up, I am going to be stepping back more and more just to get at the distance view of things. It will help visual balance. I do want enough though to where it's throughout. Like, it's super hard to describe, but I want things paced out. I don't really want spots that are too empty either. I mean, hey, that's looking pretty cool as it is. I might even just do one more paint reload on this palette and then call it a day, because for real, this is kind of pretty much there. Just kind of making sure that spots aren't like too neglected either, because the universe definitely has a way with like following rules still. But yeah, at the same time, it's random enough where you can kind of just fully express what you want to do and it not really matter. Yeah, I'm thinking just one or two more paint reloads. That'll give us 3 values total across the blues. I'm just noticing more and more, like as I eliminate big spots, I notice other big spots that could have some valuable presence thrown in. Yeah, I'm still step back thinking I'm good, but then I notice more. And I really want to make sure that there's enough diamonds in here so that there's not really any boring areas. I'll flash the book that I've read to sort of get used to how the universe tends to act and kind of what's influencing my choices here at the end, but right now we're just going to focus on this still. Really don't want to neglect spots that could be fun to just add a little bit of value to. Yeah, some of these spots are like I just can't neglect them, so that's why I noticed later after I add other values here. It's going good. That's a big spot. I'm actually surprised I missed that. Definitely can benefit from more of this. Same within here. Sporadic diamonds there. Some on here. Yeah, definitely some in that crater. It's looking good. Yeah, honestly, I might reload the palette again because I am noticing more improvement to be made. I mean, hey, that's looking pretty solid. Bouncing back and forth again to whether I want to call it or keep it. Hey, Southwest Smoke has entered the building once more. What's going on, dude? What is going on? We're adding layer 3 on here. This is our final layer for the day. Using a good old toothpick. Making sure our gems look nice and snazzy. neck of the woods. Oh, no sound? That would be very interesting. Maybe that fixed it? I'm not too sure. I just muted and unmuted. That'd be no good. Hopefully it's just a glitch or something. Oh, so maybe it was like a glitch or something like that. I'll have to check back on the recording to make sure. Nothing too much. Might have just been like a random Instagram glitch. I've just been kind of rambling to myself as we put on our final coat of diamond iridescent pearl here. We already did the value number 2. I took the same color here, mixed in just a little bit of white, went through and did all the dense areas, and then now we're using our iridescent pearl to add very sporadic gem-like formations on the areas that kind of are most solid here. Just kind of going with the flow and letting this piece catch my eye wherever it's gonna naturally catch stuff. Kind of just getting the last steps here. Refill my palette once more. Thanks for letting me know about that sound issue. I'll definitely go back and make sure that even if it was Instagram side, hopefully the recording picked up everything so it's not just quiet as I'm showing the camera stuff. Hey, thanks. I'll definitely put the camera in front of it at the end and maybe dim the lighting so things might show up a little better. Kind of like I did at the end of the last. But yeah, we're just kind of cruising along. Using the toothpick to naturally bounce off of the sandy parts to add even more randomness to this overall look. I'm also trying to populate these dense areas more with diamond just to give it a nice look here. I knew from the beginning that this stream would be shorter than the last just because of the nature of the steps we're doing. Once that initial blue was put on the first live stream, everything else just kind of naturally fits together. Especially when it comes to layer 3. Kind of just like magic with how everything just naturally falls into place as long as I just follow these blue rivers. We're just going light. Light with our areas here. Definitely nearing the end. I say maybe for like the 50th time, but that's definitely a sign that things are going good. We are using the broad end of a toothpick to get maximum paint coverage. I could always use the smaller end too, but I tend to do that for even finer details. Not really much so like this, where I want to cake on diamond looking dynamics here. The more I work on this, the more I'm kind of stepping back and getting a final look for how things are balanced, and if there's places that look empty, I go back and add some of this white on there. And it's white iridescent pearl, kind of like I was talking about first live stream. Yeah. Q-tip would be pretty useful too for certain things, like a broader, I use it for dots. Reload this canvas again. So this is my fifth reload of paint. Just taking everything rather slow. There's a good spot I can put some on. Now is the fun part where I get to sit down, do the bottom bit. Seems like we have a nice balance going on here. I'm not really having to worry too much about things looking weird, or nothing has really stood out as too distracting to me either, so thankfully I haven't had to go backwards. Not erase anything with the old coat of paint. Oh yeah, totally, dude. It's super fun. I just kind of have a bucket of sand that I hijack from certain significant locations. Like one time I used South Mountain sand. And this sand for this one came from a playground nearby. I just kind of go in there and, like a little goblin, hijack a big old scoop of it. It's really fun because even the way you mix the sand will determine how it dries, because since everything shrinks, if you have different densities of paint to sand ratio or vice versa, it'll have bigger peaks and valleys depending on how you want it to sort of behave in the end. And part of it's random, which is fun too, because I can to an extent plan out how I want the sand to look, but as it dries I have no control how things are going to shrink and absorb, and like with the dust content, if there's a lot of dust in the sand you'll absorb much more, and sometimes you can even get cracking if you go sort of heavy enough. Super fun. I'm definitely finding myself sticking to this technique the most. Me and my buddies already kind of got some projects planned out, like maybe we'll do a moon crater sort of thing, and then maybe we'll do lava rock, and then I'm definitely going to do a solid black slab again, and we'll use glow in the dark. Oh, so fixing the cracks can go a handful of different ways. So if I want the cracks to happen, I'll leave them there. But sometimes if I get a crack that's real nasty, I'll mix baking soda into a paint color that is as close to I can match the original coat of paint. And then the baking soda will still manage to give me some texture, but it's more like a ceramic stucco, like you put in a piece of drywall maybe to fix a hole like that. So it's kind of like a win-win. And I've discovered online people using materials that I didn't even know were able to be used. Like I thought the paint might react weird. Like people use sugar, tea leaves, oh yeah, talcum powder. And then, there was one more, I can't remember. Oh yeah, legitimate ceramic stucco. So they'll get like paper mache similar materials, I think is what it seems like. Mix it in like that. I thought that was pretty cool, but even with all that, I'm surprised I haven't seen any like rock slabs like this used with that. Like when people really use those things, they're painting like vases or just swipes of texture in whichever way they kind of figure out that they want to do. So I'll really have to check in and see, do some more of my own research on that to see what acceptable mediums you can put into paint. Yeah, that's a really good idea, to be honest, because even that could be so interesting. Like if you were to make a rock slab with basins and then you filled the epoxy in there, you might even be able to make it look like water and liquids are sitting glistening in those pools, depending on how everything turns out. Like I've seen acrylic inks used. I'm thinking that would be a fun thing to try out, where people drop acrylic inks from the top of their painting, and then however it drips down is what they accept. It's sort of like rain runoff, or like I've seen people use it like blood, like dripping down the... Hey, John's in the building too! What's up, sir? Leave her on the tail end of our journey here. Maybe like another 20 minutes before I either decide I'm done or figure out I need to do more. But yeah, I mean, I agree with the epoxy. That would be fun. Even, like I said, acrylic inks with glistening high gloss medium mixed in. Just kind of let it pool and see how that turns out. Glad you're able to make it to the stream, dude. Super glad to have you here. This is turning out so nicely. I ended up changing plans a little bit. Before this final coat, we added a second layer of blue that I increased the value by, maybe 25%. Make it brighter, and then now this is the third layer, the iridescent medium I was talking about, so now it's even brighter. And we're just kind of working on maintaining balance in a way that's not too noisy, but yet enough to where our eyes will find their way around the painting in a balanced fashion without it being too tightly packed in certain areas. So we're just kind of hanging out. I'm using a good old toothpick, the broad side of one, to let it bounce off the sand in a way that's even more rough than what a paintbrush or a palette knife could do. We're just adding like the diamond-esque formations here to tie everything together. And then honestly, this painting will be all but good, and I'll be able to start on even more new slabs and get those drying. It's nice to be sitting in the chair for the bottom part, just because it really opens my eyes up to what I might have missed and anything like that. But yeah, we did the full second coat already, which was totally unplanned. I was thinking more it would be 2 coats, the blue and then this, but it really makes everything glow a lot more. Hey, glad to see you here too. Mom and Dad are both in the building. Got John in here too. Super good day. Yeah, it does look like a turquoise vein. I'm bouncing back and forth on what to call this, because I try to give it like a mythical name related to the so-called geologist who might have pulled this out from wherever it came from. So I've been bouncing back and forth between Cole's Ballast, something related to turquoise. I'm still bouncing around that name. Even something like theoretical quartz. I have like 4 or 5 different names in here. But yeah, for everyone new joining in, this is our tool for the day. This is coat number 3, like I was kind of explaining earlier. We're using it to maintain randomness and give it even more of a look of naturally generated valuable material of some kind. This is definitely the fastest step in terms of knowing what I need to do, but in some ways it's slower just because of my tool size being decreased. And I'm really using, and I can even go crazier if I use the smaller end. But I think this has been a good balance because I don't want it to take too long. Like, I think there's definitely a line of being excessive, using too small of a tool to achieve kind of the same look in the end. But we're just kind of going around these last little parts and making sure the eye is naturally balanced around. Especially on these edges, I want it to have the least amount of a border, quote unquote, as possible. So it truly is like an edge to edge. Sort of dynamic here. So I'll load. This might even be the last palette reload here. Number 6. We're just cruising along here. For the glow in the dark, I'm definitely going to use toothpick only, most likely. Because I would really want it to look like veins in a rock still, but also like glimmering stars as the different densities of glow fade out. Cool with the glow-in-the-dark medium I have, because the thicker you lay it down, the longer it holds the charge, and the thinner it behaves oppositely, so it really is like a great tool if you want to create glimmering stars or any sort of that good stuff. We are nearing the end. My eye isn't really holding on to anything too strongly anymore. Seems more like I'm balanced out like I was at the end of the first live stream. But I am still picking up some areas here and there that could be made useful. Right here. And it's almost in a way like just fate at a certain point with these kind of projects, because really I don't have a plan. I just kind of go for the biggest areas first, and then as more catches my eye, I stick around and kind of work on those bits. It's tough to pick a name though for this one, I must say. Usually the name is something that I'm set on, or relatively certain on at this step, but I really don't know. The green slab I had is called Malachi's Golden Order, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then maybe this one would be something starting with a C to represent Cobalt, or maybe even like a turquoise. This is pretty solid, I gotta say. I think at this point I'm just going to use up what is on this palette, and then we'll call it a day. Just to keep things simple. I definitely find myself tending to overthink a little bit with steps like this. But it's nothing I worry about, because worrying about it just takes away from the randomness. I kind of just would rather put it all on in a way that feels right and then accept it as it is. Oh yeah, no worries, John. I'm glad you're here even for a little bit. Either way, I would do these streams with you guys here or completely empty, because it's just one of those things where I can open up the opportunity when I'm just kind of here painting anyway, but at the same time, it's free zone for everyone to hang out if they do so desire. A4666, appreciate you joining here. We're just taking a nice calm night tonight, finishing up this slab of rock simulated painting that I've got going on. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope everything's been going well in your neck of the woods. Just gonna reload my palette here. If you're curious, this is our tool for the night. Just a nice toothpick. We're just going with the flow, letting the universe tell us where things are going. Not thinking about things too much. As usual, this whole stream will be uploaded to my YouTube, so if you missed stuff and you want to go back and see, it'll all be there for you guys permanently to go back and just check out anything you might be curious of or anything like that. We definitely are nearing the end of our little goals that we set for ourselves here today. Maybe like another 10 minutes as I just kind of naturally pick up on certain things that are sticking out to me. Oh, hey, Colleen! I gotta follow you in that case after the stream's over. That's super cool. Glad to see you here. Love you too. Great to see you around here. I'm gonna be doing these more often, just sporadically throughout life, just to make a nice calm atmosphere, painting and super cool. I got Aunt Colleen in here, got Mom in here, Dad in here, John. Gang's all here. Super awesome. Hope the audio's not too loud or anything distracting. We're just going on with our little natural rock painting today. Oh, good. Thanks, Mom. It's definitely hard to see since I don't really get feedback in terms of like the stream itself, if you know what I mean. Like there's no monitor for me to look at in terms of audio or literally anything besides just the video that I can look at. Appreciate all the love today. I'm glad we have like a nice little group in here today. Quick info on this painting. I'm kind of trying to replicate cobalt, turquoise, chrysocolla looking materials and following the things that I've learned in my book from Stephen Wolfram called A New Kind of Science, which goes over how the universe constructs things based off of math and pattern and all that good stuff, and kind of explains how things are formed in nature and underground. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you like it. This is definitely one of my favorite ones, I feel like, because it just is so stand out. Like it's just such a significant thing to look at color-wise. And the screen really doesn't do it justice. Yeah, Cobalt Sky could be a cool one. So many cool names that we might even be able to figure out whatever sort of final name I'll give this. Just to throw it out there again, I was thinking maybe Cole's Ballast or Cole's Acquiesce. But, I mean, those are just two. I have so many ideas flowing around, and Cobalt Sky is a good one. Even like Coblathian's Dynamic could be a cool name for it. Because, yeah, like I was saying, I have a green slab that's called Malachi's Golden Order. Hey, thank you. It means a lot that you like this. I really enjoy this style of painting. And this is all acrylic based, just with sand from a playground mixed in for the base coat. Took about 4 days to dry. I did the first coat on my first live stream. And then coats 2 and 3, I increased the blue value by 25%. And then this final layer I'm working on is blue iridescent pearl, which on the camera does not show up, but when the light hits it, it casts a blue powdery look to it. So instead of bright white reflections, it reflects blue off of the white, which hopefully I'll be able to capture in the final pictures. But this one's about 14 pounds. I reinforced the frame with contact cement in all the different corners after I jammed some wooden keys in the 90-degree points to tighten out the canvas. This is about like a medium weight compared to my other rock style paintings. I think my heaviest is like 16 pounds, and then my lightest is like 12. I try to keep them heavy enough, but not so heavy to where they could actually have risk of breaking out of the contact cement that I fortify the edges with. It's like a balance that I'm still kind of trying to perfect. But I got several more of these slabs planned, including one that looks like magma underneath cooled sort of lava rock texture, and then a glow-in-the-dark one. Tons of potential with this kind of painting. Most likely try to do one that imitates the wall of a Egyptian tomb as well. Maybe like smooth sandstone with some hieroglyphics and dripping acrylic inks. But we'll just have to kind of see how things turn out as I get those other things laid out. For sure though, the glow-in-the-dark and magma ones will happen. Those I've been thinking about for a long time. Like a black that's not totally black, like blackish purple. And then I'll make the rock texture crack and paint in those cracks red, orange, and yellows to mimic still heated material. Maybe even shiny volcanic glass could be a good one for me to do. Try to mimic obsidian and anything like that. At the end of this live stream, I'll flash that book on the screen again and then give you guys a much better look with maybe the light toned down a little bit or some extra light to view this painting head on. Seeming like, yeah, there's only a few more spots that I'm noticing. Probably, yeah, I'll do one more load of this palette. Oh, you know what? This palette kind of shows. Maybe the light will pick that up. It's white and then it's blue, depending on the angle that you look at. It's super tough to see though, because it's just naturally washed out with the live stream formatting. But it's definitely a lot cooler than just like regular white for these gem formations. Taking our time with it. I've stepped back a few times just to look at it from a perspective that gives me a better view on what might be lacking and everything similar, just to keep balance, visual balance across everything. But yeah, I definitely feel like this is the home stretch. Making sure things are distributed in a way that's, yeah, this is pretty cool. Let's add some more density to some of these bigger spots. Still trying to keep it in a way that's like scarce, so if people were mining this material, they would still have to move around. Some nice heavier spots in these areas. And again, I'm not really thinking about anything too hard, because just like the universe, it doesn't overthink anything. It just moves, does what it needs to do, and keeps moving. So I am, besides maintaining visual balance, it's really the only thing I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking too much about how the toothpick hits the material. I'm not thinking too much about if things are thick or thin. I'm just putting it on and making my next decision right after. yeah, to be honest, that might be it. Besides this little bit, we could throw some on there. And here too. Because I do want, like I said, keep those edges alive, but not too crazy. Something like that. Yeah, this corner's kind of a little bit lacking. Something like that. And you can just throw some on similar. And honestly, that might be exactly where we naturally land on. I'm not seeing anything that's sticking out. I'll grab this book again for you guys. Oh yeah, it's 2 books. I keep forgetting about that. So yeah, book number 1. All about how the universe operates through algorithms, math, stuff like that. Various pattern examples. And this one delves a little more into molecules with much more solid graphs and examples to base stuff off of. So that's kind of how I follow rules for these rock paintings to some degree of realism while still staying rather unique at the same time. But yeah, it's all physics based. The title of the book sounds like it's gonna be talking about like, oh, a new kind of science and pseudoscience level stuff, but it's all very, very certain and proven through their algorithms and stuff. But I'll try to get a nice final view here as even as we can get stuff. And yeah, I think I'll just take this as the moment to say goodbye and thank everyone for stopping in. It's definitely one of those things I'm thankful for when I see all you guys in here, and either way, whether it's empty or I got a team of awesome people in here to talk to, I'm still going to keep doing it. So this is kind of what we're working with. I'll be able to get much better final pictures and everything like that with the actual camera instead of the app. But yeah, thank you guys, I really appreciate it. Super cool you all stopped in here and I was able to just kind of ramble on and have a nice night. But hey, thanks dude. Yeah, this blue is so nice. And yeah, I'm excited for that final picture, because that little bit of washed out video that you get with live streams will go away with a more straight on picture. But yeah, the second coat of that 25% increase of hue value really helped everything pop before I did the white. So this is sort of what we're working with. I love all you guys. Yeah, I love you too, Mom. It's super nice that you're here. I'm really glad you're able to kind of see this live stream since it's the final one. But yeah, see all you guys later. I'll upload this as well like I usually do to my YouTube. Everything will be permanent on the profile here, YouTube, and then we'll just see what happens in the future. See you guys.